Hey there, welcome to another episode of Aligned Life. I've been teasing this episode for a few weeks now. A special guest is here, and you might be looking around and be like, where is this special guest? Well, the special guest is named Santiago, but it is not a person. Santiago is the new name of what was formerly called RLS Wealth. And today's episode is all about the rebrand of my advisory firm, the why behind it. We're going to go through the website. We're going to go through the brand design. I just want to share the story behind why I decided to make this change. After 10 years of being first RL Wealth, then RLS Wealth when we had Silas, and now to Santiago, why? And I'm really excited about it. And I'm not going to lie, I'm really proud of myself as well because the website and the branding has been done for a while, and I have been waiting to get a bunch of content to share this with all of you and do it in the right way. Do it in a way that is going to complete the story, make it a little bit of a splash, because I hope that one, this rebrand attracts the clients I want to serve in the way I want to serve, which you're going to hear about in a moment. But I also hope that this rebrand and this launch makes a splash to inspire other of my financial advisor peers to really tap into their authentic self and bring that version of themselves to financial planning. What that looks like will be different for everybody, but there are a lot of financial advisors out there that are where I've been in the past and may not even know it because I didn't know it back then, but are being forced to show up every day in a way that's not fully inauthentic, but it's not fully allowing them to embrace their authentic self. And with what I'm about to show you in these upcoming parts of the episode of the website and the branding and the why is everything that I want it to be, and it's my way because it's what feels right to me and what's true to me, and I hope will be right for clients and will be good for business going forward. So let's dive into Santiago. And I actually mapped out an episode for a change. Usually it's off the top of my head when it's by myself. I don't need the notes, but I want to make sure I don't miss anything. So first and foremost, as I introduce you to Santiago, that's the logo. You're going to learn a lot more about that later on in the episode. But I wanted to share the reason why I did this rebrand. Because the reality of it is, I don't have to do this rebrand, but it goes back to the last couple of years. You've been along for this journey with the daily notes, with the Life Design Plus podcast, which is now Aligned Life, which will make more sense as things go on. You've been for that journey, and everything has been about kind of moving people closer and closer to their authentic life. And through this, going through the life planning process, getting my RLP designation through the Kinder Institute of Life Planning. Shout out to George Kinder, the godfather of life planning, for creating this magical process that is a very big part of what it is that I'm going to be doing going forward. And for whatever reason, the way my mind works, I love brands and I love branding. I'm a brand loyalist. I used to have a t-shirt I made that said brand loyalist. I just love brands and I love the stories behind them. And when I looked at the work I want to do going forward, which you've seen this work before, this is the Aligned Life relationship that's already on the RLS Wealth website. But the work I want to do going forward and how I want to show up as an advisor, the way that I want to bring spirituality to money and unite them and align spirit, mind, and body and help people discover who they really want to be and redesign their finances to support that version of themselves and then be there to help them as they grow and evolve and become the future authentic version of themselves. For whatever reason, the RLS Wealth brand doesn't allow me to do it. It's a hurdle in my head, but that brand keeps me pigeonholed into the traditional financial advisor with a little bit of this sprinkled in. And there's nothing wrong with that. And the cool thing is RLS Wealth is actually going nowhere. The legal name of the firm is RLS Wealth. The doing business as is Santiago.life, and I shorten that to Santiago. So RLS Wealth, the core of the company, the legal name is not going anywhere. The core of the clients, they're not going anywhere. I'm continuing to serve and work with those clients because I love them. They are family, and I don't want to change that business. But when I think about my future, when I think about the work I want to do for the next 20 years, it's not necessarily the same work that I've done the past 20. Totally cool continuing to do that for those clients. But the work I want to do going forward is Aligned Life. It's this hybrid of financial planning with life planning with, I say, guidance, ongoing guidance. Some might call it coaching, but I don't view it in the same lens as coaching. That's what I want to do going forward. That's the work that will light me up for the rest of my career. And that's the work that lets me lead more people to their authentic life. Traditional financial planning, I might be able to get there. I could sprinkle in Kinder's Evoke and maybe get people there. But I think that this aligned life relationship through Santiago focuses on the authentic life. It's the core of the relationship and getting there, and everything around that builds. And for whatever reason, Santiago, which I'll explain where the name came from, you might know it already, but Santiago gives me the freedom to lean into it. And you're going to see the language on the website, very intentional, leaning into these words of intuition and abundance and manifestation. Like, I don't feel like those words can go on RLS Wealth because RLS Wealth has been a different type of company. So that is the reason for the rebranded Santiago. It's more for me in the mental space I need to be in to do the work I want to do going forward. But also, I hope that the brand signals to the world that this is a different type of financial planning firm. Again, RLS Wealth existing clients, nothing changes for them. This is only about the future. The future clients will be different relationship. So that's the why. To signal to the world, this is a different type of planning firm. It's a different relationship. We're going to align spirit, mind, and body. We're going to trust our intuition. We're going to find ways to be creative. And we're going to walk the life that we were created to live. And we're going to align our finances with that. And I am here to help you along the way with whatever it may be. So once we get the plan in place, once we get the finances aligned, then when we meet weekly, which might sound like a lot, but weekly, we're going to continue to do whatever you need to do that week to move forward and evolve. So that's the why behind it. Now let me introduce you to Santiago and like why the name. If you don't know already, Santiago is the main character of the book, The Alchemist. And The Alchemist is my all-time favorite book. It's a very important book. This painting over here you can't see a whole lot of is inspired by the book, The Alchemist. This tattoo right here, that is Santiago at the pyramids with a passage from The Alchemist right on there. Very important book. And Santiago is a name I've had kind of in my notebook of like, I'd like to do something with it, but I didn't know. And at the last fall, I had the idea of Santiago, thought maybe I would do it. I went through a big decision, and on the other side of the decision, I realized it is Santiago. So Santiago is the main character in the book called The Alchemist. If you've never read it, read it. Awesome story for me on The Alchemist. The first time I got the book, I didn't read it. So I was listening to a Kobe Bryant interview, and Kobe said that The Alchemist was his all-time favorite book. So if it's Kobe's favorite book, I gotta get it. Order it. I get 3, 4, 5 pages in. Just didn't connect. I put it down, never picked it up again. And interestingly enough, after I had the book, I had an advisor I was talking to ask me if I've ever read The Alchemist. And I said no. And they said, you remind me of Santiago. Didn't know what it meant, like right over my head. But I remember them saying that. Fast forward a couple years as I'm going down the beginning of this journey of aligning my spirit, mind, and body and my kind of awakening, if you will, self-recognition, self-actualization. I'm watching Jay Shetty because I read his book, Think Like a Monk, and there's a lot in there that really resonated with me. So I'm listening to Jay Shetty. He's interviewing Kobe Bryant, and Kobe says, The Alchemist is his favorite book. And I'm like, I know I have that book somewhere. Can't find it, so I order it from Amazon. I get it the next day, and like in a day and a half, I read it. Like it was just, that was the time for me to read the book. The really cool thing is the 2 Kobe Bryant interviews, exact same interview. But I came to them from different lenses. The first time I came because of Kobe. The second time I came because of Jay. Both of them put The Alchemist in front of me. The second time I was ready to read it. So if you get the book and it doesn't really hit, keep it. It might be a book you need to read in the future, and you just already have it on hand. Without ruining the story, Santiago, the whole point of the book is he goes on this journey for his personal legend, which I swap personal legend out with authentic life. So Santiago's on this journey pursuing his authentic life. And there's a lot of really cool things that come in there, people who help him. But at the end of the day, it's a book about becoming the person you were meant to be. Great story. And the work that I want to do is basically guide Santiago to his personal legend, to his authentic life. So I love the name Santiago because of the book and the meaning to me personally, but also for every client that comes and works with me, they are Santiago. They are on this journey to find their personal legend, their authentic life. And I am here to act as some of the people that Santiago meets along the way. I won't tell you those names. I'll let you read it out themselves. Obviously, the alchemist is somebody he meets, a very important person in the book. But I want to be there to support the Santiago in you, if that's what you need, to discover who you really are, to go through a process that will help you figure out who your authentic self is, what your authentic life looks like, align your finances with that, and develop a plan to move forward, and then be there to walk alongside you as you continue to move closer and evolve. The cool thing about it is those meetings that I'll have on the back end of it will be whatever is needed. Could be one week could be talking about finances, another week it could be parenting, another one could be creativity for a business. Who knows what it is, but I just know how much I look forward to Thursday at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Every week I meet with my coach, and I can't wait for that hour, and I want to create a relationship. I want to become a guide so good that those people working with me can't wait until their weekly meeting with me so we can keep on progressing and move closer and closer and closer to the authentic version of themselves and live their authentic life. So I named the firm Santiago after a character in the book. As you're going to hear, I didn't want too much of the book connected to the branding, but I wanted to be a nod to that because we all have a Santiago inside of us. We are all trying to figure out our purpose. We're all trying to find our authentic life. And I believe for the right person, I have the right process and I'm the right guide to help be there and support that development. So that is why it's called Santiago, a nod to the book The Alchemist. And I love the fact that the name is Santiago because there's nothing with it that tells you it's finance. And not that I'm not proud of finance, and finance is a part of the relationship. I will always be an advisor, and that's what makes me unique to help in this situation. But I love brands, and I love the fact that there's a challenge for me to grow this brand into something that eventually people will realize, oh, Santiago.life, Santiago, that is a firm that helps people live the life they want to live, the way they want to live it, take control of their life. All of those things I write and talk about is what this firm is designed to help people do. So that's where the name came from. I want the brand, as I mentioned, to represent authentically living lives. I've made this realization lately that everything I'm doing, I'm not building the business of Santiago. Santiago is a business that I'm continuing to build. Remember, RLS Wealth is the foundation. Santiago is the business I'm continuing to build. But the business I'm really building is really a business of an idea. I'm building the business of the authentic life. And I want Santiago to fit in as Santiago is the firm where I do my work one-on-one with individuals to help lead them to their authentic life. So I want the brand to represent spirituality and finances connected. I want it to represent authenticity. I want it to represent creativity. I want it to represent individualized plans because everybody's authentic life is different. So I'm going to be a firm that thinks outside the box when it comes to the planning. I want the planning to be more collaborative than it is directive, meaning I don't want to tell you what you need to do. I want to work with you and come up with what's the right decision for you to make with your finances. And we're going to tap into your intuition. We're going to look at, hey, what are the right ways to approach this problem from a financial standpoint? Here's A, B, and C. Here's pros and cons of A, B, and C. Here's what I would recommend you doing, knowing you and your goals and knowing what I think is best for you. What do you feel is best? And maybe you feel it's B. Then we go with that because that's what your intuition is telling you. And your intuition is a very important part of the financial planning and life planning process. But not very many financial advisors are going to lean into that, and I'm going to. And the more in touch you are with your intuition, the bigger part of the planning process it becomes. I want the brand to represent that approach to financial planning. I want it to be something different. Who am I going to focus on working with? I've never had a niche before. My niche for RLS Wealth was people I like. I love every single one of my clients. I don't have a single client that calls and I cringe when I see their name on my phone. My niche was people that I like, and I did a damn good job building that business, which is why I don't want to get rid of that business. I could have sold the business and start from scratch. Not even on the table. Not an option. Going forward, in this relationship and my unique gifts and talents that I talk about, I think I'm best fit to serve what I'm calling creative entrepreneurs. So that could be, the obvious of creators, YouTube, newsletter, whatever it might be, but creators. Could be entrepreneurs who identify as creative. I would say, I'm a creator, but I'm also a creative entrepreneur. The way I'm going about building Santiago, the way I've gone about the business in the past is not like every other financial advisor. I'm creative. Look at this studio. I'm surrounded by creativity. I'm a creative entrepreneur. So someone like myself which obviously makes sense because I understand the way a creative entrepreneur's brain works. I understand the way that finances for a creative entrepreneur are not necessarily the same as the way you handle finances for somebody who works a 9 to 5. No, neither is better, but it's just different. I have the confidence to go outside the box, not just think about outside the box, but go outside the box when it comes to the planning. And I think a great value that I have is my creativity gets to be shared with that creative entrepreneur. So other examples of creative entrepreneurs, I think there are a lot of financial advisors that are creative entrepreneurs that I could help as well because I am a financial advisor. I think that the angle there is maybe we focus less on their financial plan and more on their business planning. So we go through the same process, but instead of doing a financial plan, we do a business plan. We align their business plan with their authentic life. Creative entrepreneurs is vague, but it's more defined than I thought it was, than I had been in the past. And I think we'll be able to find more of a thread of who that might be in the future. But that's who I think I'll be best served. That doesn't mean if somebody comes to me that's not a creative entrepreneur and I like them and they want to work with me in the aligned life relationship, that I won't work with them. Speaking of aligned life relationship, what is that? So aligned life, the core of it, the biggest, most important part of it is George Kinder's evoke process. I've never been a very super process-oriented person. I follow that to a T. Before every meeting, I read my workbook that I did during training to put myself back in that place. I do a meditation to drop in and be present. I follow that to the T, even to the scripts. Life planning is a big part, but it's not the only part. I think that it's also very important that I bring to the evoke process the alignment of spirit, mind, and body, because that's going to help us align our money with our authentic life. I believe the way we really connect to our authentic self, which will help us in the life plan create the life that we want, is to align our spirit, mind, and body. And I've talked about this before, but high level, aligning your spirit, mind, and body. Spirit is your connection to the divine, to God, to your higher power, to the universe, however you want to define it. I'm going with divine to catch everything. That is your direct communication, your direct line connecting you to the source that created you, which wants you to be the person that you were created to be. It will give you signs. Your heart will lead you to passions. It will guide you where you need to be. If you are connected, and however you do that, it transcends religion. It transcends belief systems. However you connect spiritually, you do it. Your mind has to believe it. It has to carry it out. Your mind can be your best ally. It can be your worst enemy. So finding a way to align your mind with the spirit. Without your mind believing it, without your mind moving towards it, what you get from your higher power will never come to fruition. And then finally, body. We have to take care of our body. We also don't want our body to deter our mind and make us think about how bad we feel. So we need to be taking care of our body as well. When we have that alignment, and also your body receives a lot of the spirit's communications to us. When you have that alignment, that's when you start to see these synchronicities. The bald eagles begin popping into your life, giving you signs and clues, and you begin to move closer and closer to your authentic self, which will then go into the life plan, which will go into the financial plan. So a lot of life planning professionals will focus on the evoke process, but they're not bringing spirit, mind, and body to it in the way that I'm going to. So that's where it's different. So, coming to Santiago, what's the process look like? It is going to be a quick financial snapshot. Let's make sure there's no problems in your current finances. Let's look at, on the path you're on now, are you in good shape to reach your goals? Great, let's put that to the side. And let's start working on aligning your spirit, mind, and body. Are you there? Do you need to? How do you do it? Beginning to build those practices in so we begin to find that alignment. And then we dive into the evoke process. We go through the meetings just like you would in the regular evoke process. And then on the other side of that, I kind of separate out. In evoke, it stands for exploration, vision, obstacles, knowledge, and execution. Knowledge and execution is where the financial planning really comes in. I still keep that as evoke is what I'm doing, but I like to separate the planning process after the evoke process, not a part of it. It's really semantics. It's not any different. But then we move into the financial planning process of aligning the finances to the life plan that we created through the evoke process of vision, of exploration, vision, and obstacles. And then it goes into the weekly coaching. As I sit here today, I have a couple clients that we're doing this with now. I'm beta testing every other week to see how that goes. I just know how much I love the weekly meetings, and I want that to be the relationship. But to be honest, I'll be open to see if bi-weekly works or not. But beyond that, I've done monthly before. Too much time passes on. Our momentum doesn't keep on going. but I'm really looking forward to being that guide to walk alongside once we have everything in place moving forward. And the truth is, this will be a small part of my business going forward because I have the households to take care of at RLS Wealth, and because it's weekly and it's so intense, there's only a handful of these clients I can work with. So my first goal is over the next couple of years to get to 10 clients in the Aligned Life and then pause, because at that point I'll be at capacity. I don't want to sacrifice the legacy of RLS Wealth, but I also don't want to stop doing the work that excites me for the future. So that is a little bit about Santiago. The mystery guest today was actually just a brand. It was a transition from RLS Wealth, which I love, and I love the business still, to a new brand that represents who I am today more clearly and the work I want to do going forward. And as you're going to hear in the next couple segments, I'm going to talk to Josh, who did the brand design work. I'm going to talk to Colton, who took the brand design and we did the website together. And I want you to see and hear the intention that was put behind this brand. There's not a detail that wasn't thought through and planned. And I'm very, very proud of that, because old version of me would rush through things and keep things going. And I took my time to make sure I did this right, because this is the next phase for me. And this is the way that I can help people one-on-one move closer to their authentic life. And I wanted to make sure I do it right. So I thank you for tuning in and paying attention to this episode. I'm really excited. The next part of these conversations are really a lot of fun. And if you like brand and you like design, I think you're going to enjoy the conversations with Josh and Colton. So thanks for tuning in. Don't go anywhere. If you're watching this on YouTube, I've separated this out into 3 videos. So go find the video with Josh and then go find the video with Colton. But if you're listening to this on the podcast, it's getting ready to roll right into the conversation with Josh, talking about the brand design, followed up by the talk with Colton, talking about the website. So if any of this is of interest of you, the website is live, santiago.life. Go ahead and check that out. And if Aligned Life sounds like something that you would be interested in, you're a creative entrepreneur or the work aligns with you, go ahead and find your way to book my calendar. Would love to talk to you about the relationship, see if it's a good fit, and begin working towards my 10 Aligned Life clients that we'll hopefully have within the next couple of years. So with that, I share with you Santiago. I introduce you to Santiago. I'm excited. Stay tuned for more. Aligned Life, the podcast, has a lot of great guests coming up. I'm really excited about this next season, if you will, of the show. And now let's get to the conversation with Josh.